inform you that the skeletal remains found on December 11th are those of the missing toddler, Caylee Anthony. The cause of death will be listed as homicide by undetermined means.
First of all, I guess I have to ask, and you can tell me in the comment section down below, does anybody believe that she didn't have something to do with the murder of her daughter? Not the death of her daughter, the murder of her daughter. This was ruled a murder by one of the top medical examiners in the country. So that we know for sure. The death was a homicide. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't undetermined. The cause was undetermined. The manner of death was homicide. So she's over here advocating, yes? Why is she not still advocating for her daughter? Someone murdered her baby, and she says it wasn't her. She wasn't found guilty, so then who was it? Why has she not been trying to figure out who killed her daughter? I can only come to one conclusion, and that's because she already knows. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is that you are tuning in. This is Unapologetically me, featuring me. No special guest, just me. How are you guys doing today? I hope you guys are all having a great day, a great week, a great weekend, whatever time it is that you are clicking on this video. If you are new here, welcome. Thank you so much for taking a chance on someone else's perspective on this case. Hopefully you will find something that you enjoy about either my presentation or you learn something from this video and you decide to stick around and subscribe. To my current subscribers, thank you so much for your support. You have no idea how much you all mean to me. I appreciate every single one of you. You make my time spent on these cases matter so much more than you will ever know. And finally, to my channel members. Oh my God. I remember when channel members became available for me and I was like, that's a feature I can just ignore. No way am I ever going to have members. But of course, I still hoped that someday I would. And now, here you are. I may be a tiny channel, but I am so blessed to have every one of you here. Viewers, subscribers, and now members. Thank you. Truly. Again, for those of you who are new here, hopefully you will find that I'm your cup of tea. And if not, that's okay too, because you have the ability to click out of here at any point. No hard feelings on my end. Please feel free to comment. Just remember to keep it classy. Everybody has their own opinion and they're entitled to it. So far, I think we've been doing a great job at keeping the comment section a safe space to share that opinion without people getting too insulting. You can say your opinion without insults, okay? That's just not gonna fly here, all right? So just know that you're wasting your time. So now with all of that out of the way, let's get into today's video. I hope you guys are doing good today. This is gonna be a little switch up from the Watts case for I don't know, however long this video ends up being. I put a little post on my community page about Caylee Anthony and that she was going to be starting a series. I know every one of you has heard the infamous name Caylee Anthony, the American mom everyone loves to hate, and for good reason. Let's talk about why before we get into this commentary video. I'd call it a reaction video, but I'm not doing it face to face, so it's going to be more of a commentary video. I don't usually do reaction videos or commentary videos, but I just couldn't waste the opportunity to react to this quote unquote comeback. and give my opinion on it. So I saw the hype and I almost didn't believe it. I clicked on the video, and after the first 30 seconds, I decided to stop it and wait until I could record my reaction at the same time. So until right now, I have no clue where she went with this, but when she said she was reintroducing herself and doing a series, I was like, oh, okay, hold up. This is a real thing she's doing here. Then instantly, I thought, oh my God. Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Of course, why not make money off your own criminal history? People love that. Redemption, right? Well, redemption comes from first taking accountability, in my opinion, which neither of these two women ever did. I already did a 3-part deep dive on Gypsy Rose and Nicholas Godejohn. Feel free to go watch it if you haven't yet, but I have never spoken on the Caylee Anthony case. I'm still recording the Watts family annihilation deep dive, so this is just a lone video for now, but let me know if you want a deep dive on this case next. I think now would be a great time to take a much closer look at the death of Caylee Anthony. So let's do a refresher on the case before we get into Casey's TikTok. On July 15th, 2008, in Orlando, Florida, a 911 call was made by a woman by the name of Cindy Anthony. Cindy informed the 911 operator that she was growing extremely concerned that she had not seen her 2-year-old granddaughter, Caylee Marie Anthony, in 31 days. Cindy went on to say that when she asked her daughter Casey Anthony about where Caylee was, Casey would give varied explanations as to Caylee's whereabouts, before eventually telling her mother that it had been weeks since she had last seen her daughter Caylee. Later, Casey would falsely report that her daughter Caylee had been kidnapped by her nanny back on June 9th.
911, what's your emergency? I called a little bit ago, the deputy sheriff saying I found out my granddaughter has been taken. She has been missing for a month. Her mother finally admitted that she's been missing.
Okay, what is
here now?
Okay, what is the address that you're calling from?
4937 Hope Spring Drive. We're talking about a 3-year-old little girl.
4937 what?
Hope Spring, HOPESPRING Drive, Orlando. My daughter finally admitted that the baby's in the store. I need to find her.
Your daughter admitted that the baby is where?
But the babysitter took her a month ago that my daughter's been looking for. I told you my daughter was missing for a month. I just found her today, but I can't find my granddaughter. She just admitted to me that she's been trying to find her herself. There's something wrong. I found my daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car.
Okay, what is the 3-year-old's name?
Caylee, Caylee Anthony.
Caylee Anthony?
Yes.
How long has she been missing for?
I have not seen her since the 7th of June. So it's Caylee missing. Caylee's missing. Caylee's missing. He took her a month ago. She's been missing for a month.
Is your daughter there?
Yes.
Can I speak with her?
Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi. Well, can you tell me what's going on a little bit?
I'm sorry?
Can you tell me a little bit what's going on?
My daughter's been missing for the last 31 days.
And you know who has her?
I know who has her. I've tried to contact her. I actually received a phone call today, now from a number that is no longer in service. I did get to speak to my daughter for about a minute.
And you last saw her a month ago?
31 days. From 31 days.
Why are you calling now? Why didn't you call 31 days ago?
I've been looking for her and have gone through other resources to try to find her, which was stupid.
This had investigators scrambling because 6 weeks had passed since Caylee was last seen, and Casey's story would change multiple times, leading police on a wild goose chase all over the state of Florida for months. The story that Casey stuck with was that she had left her 2-year-old daughter Caylee at the apartment of her nanny, Zanny Fernandez Gonzalez. Yes, everyone, Zanny the nanny. And I remember the speculation circling at that time, or allegations or whatever, that Zanny the nanny was actually Xanax. That Casey would use Xanax as a quote-unquote babysitter when she wanted to go out and party, slipping little 2-year-old Caylee some Xanax to make her sleep through Casey's night of partying. In fact, many people think that that may have been what actually caused Caylee's death. That, of course, is entirely speculation, and as I already said, I have not thoroughly researched this case yet.
Who has her? Do you have a name?
Her name is Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez.
Who is that? Babysitter?
She's been my nanny for about a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Can you give me the name of the nanny again? Like, spell it out for me?
Zenaida, Zenaida.
Last name?
Fernandez hyphen Gonzalez. I think the officers are here.
The officers are there?
Yes.
When police went to the apartment address that Caylee gave them of, Zanny, the nanny, they found that it had been abandoned for more than 140 days. Another lie Caylee told was that she had been working at Universal Studios. When investigators took her to Universal to show them her office, Caylee kept up the charade all the way up until they were inside the building before admitting to investigators that she no longer worked there. In fact, as it would turn out, Caylee hadn't worked at Universal Studios since going on maternity leave almost 3 years earlier, when she was pregnant with Caylee. On August 11, 2008, while Caylee was leading police all over Florida, a meter reader named Roy Kronk called the police about a suspicious object found in a forested area. He would actually make calls on the 11th, 12th, and 13th of August. He was not taken very seriously, and though he reported seeing what he thought might be a skull next to a gray bag, an officer conducted a search and stated that he did not see anything. 4 months later, Roy Kronk would call police again. This time, officers found the gray bag, and inside were the remains of a small child and a blanket. Investigators recovered duct tape, which was hanging from hair attached to the skull, and some tissue left on the skull. Over the next 4 days, more bones were found in the wooded area where the remains had initially been discovered. This wooded area was near the Anthony family residence. On December 19, 2008, medical examiner Jan Garavaglia confirmed that the remains found were 2-year-old Caylee. If you guys don't know who Jan Garavaglia is, I used to watch this show, Dr. G Medical Examiner, and I would watch the autopsies, and she was doing autopsies on all sorts of cases, and when they said she was going to be the medical examiner for this case, I got super excited because I knew there would be no mistakes, and sure enough, she confirmed that those remains were Caylee Anthony. Jan Garavaglia ruled Caylee's death a homicide and the cause of death as undetermined. No one has been convicted in Caylee Anthony's murder. There has only ever been one suspect in the murder of Caylee Anthony, and that would be her mother, Casey Anthony. The state of Florida sought the death penalty for Casey Anthony after police charged her with first-degree murder, aggravated child abuse, aggravated manslaughter of a child, and 4 counts of providing false information to law enforcement. Unfortunately, due to the amount of time that had passed since Caylee had been killed, the evidence was mostly circumstantial, and a jury found Casey not guilty of the charges, with the exception of the 4 counts of providing false information to law enforcement. When she's taking them all over Florida while her baby is decomposing in a forested area near her home. 2 of those 4 counts of providing false information were overturned on appeal. Casey has told so many stories and thrown so many people under the bus over the last 17 years and still has yet to take any accountability for the murder of her daughter. Caylee's death was ruled a homicide, not an accidental death. Caylee was murdered, and her mother, Casey Anthony, couldn't give a damn. At least it would appear, in my opinion. Casey said she hadn't seen her daughter since June 9th of 2008, and she wasn't the one who even called police. Over a month later, then she takes police everywhere, but where the body actually was, for almost 4 months. During the time that Casey said a nanny had quote-unquote kidnapped her daughter, Casey was out partying, entering a hot body contest, and even got a tattoo saying, quote, Bella Vita, unquote, which is Italian for beautiful life.
When you first met Ms. Anthony, can you tell the jury how she appeared?
She always seemed like she was having a good time.
Did you ever see her distraught?
No, sir.
Depressed?
No, sir.
Scared?
No, sir.
She was partying and having a good time.
Did she tell you her daughter was missing?
No.
Did she ever tell you that her daughter had been kidnapped?
No.
That she was missing?
No.
No. No.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Did you ever ask the defendant where Caylee was?
Yes, sir, I did.
What did she tell you?
And that she was at Disney World with the nanny.
She said she was with the nanny.
She told me that she was spending the weekend at the beach with the nanny.
Did Caylee Anthony ever tell you her daughter was missing?
No, sir.
That she was looking for her?
No.
That she needed any help?
Nope.
No, sir.
Did she ever cry?
No.
Did she ever act scared?
Nope.
At any time during this night, did she ever tell you that her child was missing?
No, sir.
That is the type of person that Caylee Anthony is. Keep that in mind while we watch this TikTok of the one and only. Take it away, Miss Anthony.
We're sweat to death. Okay. Today is Saturday, March 1st, 2025. This is my first of probably many recordings on a series that I'm starting. I am a legal advocate. I am a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011. And in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary, if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate, that I start to advocate for myself and also advocate for my daughter. For those of you who don't know, my name is Caylee Anthony. My daughter is Caylee Anthony. My parents are George and Cindy Anthony. This is not about them. This is not in response to anything that they have said or done. That's not to say that I'm not going to respond at some point to some of the things that they have said and done. The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself. I'm doing this both personally for me, but in a professional capacity.
Okay, let's just get through that little bit at first. Okay, so she's reintroducing herself as a legal advocate. Okay, and later on you'll hear her explain where she is going to be doing her advocacy work. So she talks about being in the legal field since 2011. So she was charged in 2008. So the legal field she's been in is the trial of the death of her own daughter. So right away, I'm over here like, who would want legal advice from you, for one? And for two, just because you're a criminal who knows your way around the law and how to not get caught doesn't necessarily make you the best advocate. Now, I just want to say, first of all, do not go attack this woman. Please. Do not go to her Substack just to talk shit to her. Do not go to her TikTok and make shitty comments. Please don't do that. We don't do that here. We talk about things, but we're not going to go attack people or bully people, especially on their own platform. If she comes here and says anything and you guys want to talk to her, hey, but do not go to somebody else's platform just to talk shit. I hate when people do that. Also, it's not okay. We don't need to be making this into an attack. Let's listen to a little bit more here.
Moving forward, the majority of what you will see will be me speaking in a professional capacity. My goal is to continue to help give a voice to people, to give people tools and resources that they can utilize so they actually know where they can turn to. So with that, please join me on Substack. If you have questions, I will set up an email address where we can correspond directly. Up until this point, that has never happened. And it's only going to be on a limited basis regarding legal issues, legal matters.
I love how professional she is speaking. And I feel like this is going to give people a false sense of power that she has. Like, she's so knowledgeable about all these things. Look, this is a woman who was charged with the heinous crime of killing her own child, and she was found not guilty because there wasn't enough evidence to convict her because of the length of time it took for them to find the body. They couldn't do toxicology. They couldn't do a lot of these other things that could have helped to convict the murderer of Caylee. And this is because of what Casey did. Now, she's talking about being an advocate, and she will bring in LGBTQ and women's rights and all of this, yet she did not advocate for her own child. As I just explained to you, the case, her baby was missing for 31 days before her mother, Cindy, the baby's grandmother, called 911 to report that she hadn't seen her. And then Casey comes up with this bullshit about the nanny kidnapping her back in June. So where was the advocacy for a victim then? that victim being your own daughter. While all this is going on, she's out partying. People talked about her being out at parties and doing hot body contests. She even walked into a tattoo shop and gets a tattoo saying "beautiful life." It's a beautiful life now that your daughter's missing? And this, of course, is before it was reported. And she used to bring Caylee, I guess, to that tattoo shop. And even the tattoo guy was like, "Where's Caylee this time?" "Oh, she's with the nanny." "Oh, really? Zanny the nanny?" Okay, well, let's keep going here. Let's see what else Caylee Anthony thinks she is going to help us with.
One of the main reasons that I'm doing this, there are people close to me who have been targeted and attacked recently. There are also people close to me who have had some recent things occur. And when necessary, people needed to step up, myself included. So as a proponent for the LGBTQ community, for our legal community, women's rights, I feel that it's important that I use this platform that was thrust upon me and now look at as a blessing as opposed to the curse that it has been since 2008. With that, these aren't going to be perfect. They're not going to be edited. Most of the time, they're not going to be short. But I am proverbially standing in the light, embracing this piece, still going to keep my privacy intact. So you will get very comfortable with my car.
Okay, so again, she's going to keep this very professional, but very private. And so therefore, she will be doing all of her TikToks in her car. Okay, like I get the privacy thing, absolutely. I just feel like this is so, I don't know. I can't even think of the words right now as I'm listening to her. It seems like she is just so deluded. Like delusional? I don't know. She makes it sound like she really knows what she's talking about and she's been helping people for a long time now. I don't know who close to her is being attacked to where she feels that she needs to start like a whole movement here. To me, it's giving Gypsy Rose. I would be very shocked to see this go anywhere. Who's going to go to her for legal advice unless they're guilty of a crime? So who is this really targeted towards? First of all, I guess I have to ask, and you can tell me in the comment section down below, does anybody believe that she didn't have something to do with the murder of her daughter? Not the death of her daughter, the murder of her daughter. This was ruled a murder by one of the top medical examiners in the country. So that we know for sure. The death was a homicide. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't undetermined. The cause was undetermined. The manner of death was homicide. So she's over here advocating. Yes? Why is she not still advocating for her daughter? Someone murdered her baby. And she says it wasn't her. She wasn't found guilty. So then who was it? Why has she not been trying to figure out who killed her daughter? I can only come to one conclusion. And that's because she already knows. Let's listen to the rest of this.
I will explain in great detail why it's so important for people to protect their privacy. It's not just important to public figures, it's even more important to private individuals. And with the current climate in our country especially, it's that much more important, which is why I am utilizing the Substack platform. Yes, I am advertising this and publishing this on TikTok, possibly also through other meta platforms, but my intention is to separate from that and showcase even more why Substack is such an important resource for people to utilize moving forward. Anyway, I appreciate your time and we'll see how this goes.
See how this goes. Well, the comments are turned off, so it didn't go well there. I don't know if they were turned off from the beginning. Like I said, this is the first time I actually went to TikTok and screen recorded her stuff. So I don't know about that, but how it's going, I don't know. I went over to her Substack and there are maybe a handful of comments that are not telling her to shut up. And what gives her the right to advocate for people when she herself has never even taken accountability for the crime that she was charged with? Because let's be real here, even if she isn't the one who committed the homicide, she still never reported her daughter missing for well over a month, and then lied and took police all over Florida trying to find her daughter, knowing that they were all going to be dead ends. So again, I ask, who is going to want her to advocate for them? She couldn't even advocate for her own child. She is lying to herself, in my opinion, and she is lying to all of us, again, in my opinion. So I don't know what you guys want to do with that. Please, like I said, do not go to her Substack and show her hate. Do not go to her TikTok and show her hate. The comments are turned off on that anyway. And let me know if you guys want me to dig into this case when I'm done with the Watts case. I might even be able to start doing it at the same time. This is really something, isn't it? I mean, the times that we live in now where it's like I don't want to say glorifying criminals, but we're allowing them to have a platform to almost like manipulate people. Let me know what you guys think about this. Please have a great rest of your week or weekend. Please be safe, be happy, be healthy, and most of all, be unapologetically you. Bye-bye.